Junior Mining Weekly, StockPulse.com production, where our focus is on the individual equities markets within the commodities sector. Joining me to break down the action, put some color to the news, Allan Laboucan with the Allan reports. Things coming to life here for the juniors, Al. More financing, stocks moving on news, drill programs getting announced. The sky is not falling after all. Before we get into the equities here, how you seeing the vibe?
Yeah, I think we're starting to see people getting less concerned about our world's going to end because of this virus, and that, mining is still going to be important in the future, especially gold mining. So we're starting to see gold stocks getting back to life on the junior end of things, seeing some good action on the stock prices, seeing some good action on the financings. Significant ones on the bigger ones, 20 million plus bought deal financing, stuff like that. I think I saw 3 this week. So, it's the money is there. I think it's starting to filter its way down to the smaller explorers. The ones that find something, they get very good valuation, are starting to get good valuations and good financings. And that's sort of what we're trying to do, is find those that are going to make those discoveries, and that can jump on the bandwagon to improvement. And I think we've got a good list on the various different shows. We should publish a list or something like that of the ones that we've covered to make people's lives a little easier so they can go do their own homework. But we got a great shopping list on the shows we do weekly, and I think that's a good place for people to start. And I got a new batch here for us today.
Okay, let's get right to it here. First one up here, Amex Exploration. Kelly Malcolm here. I had a call into him, try to track him down for next week's show. Numerous gold intercepts in the Gray Cat Zone.
Yeah, they hit some really good new results. They're starting to tie some things together at depth that was, when I originally started to follow the company, was something that really encouraged me, because it looks like some of these veins can come together at depth. And if you can have that, usually in those kind of systems, you also get zonation of the grade. So as you are closer to the surface, you get less grade, you get deeper into these systems, and the grade usually spikes up. For example, in Red Lake, you got to go down 1,000 meters before you get into the juiciest stuff, the 1 to 2 ounce per ton kind of stuff. And I think we could see a similar type thing on these systems, these veins that Amex has. It caught Eric Sprott's attention. He took another big chunk of the latest financing. So these guys are one of the examples of companies that have made discovery. The stocks are coming off their bottoms. They're getting better financing. And as they get more drill results out, I think they can see a much higher valuation as gold goes up as well. So, yeah, Amex is one I like a lot.
Okay, next one up here, one of your favorite names outside of your own probably. GoldON commences drilling at the West Matson gold property in Ontario's Red Lake there, right up by Great Bear.
Yeah, Gold, I think that's a good name too. Gold, GoldON, Advanced Gold. Some of those are my favorite names. Yeah, you're right. GoldON is starting to, and this one is, a few of them today I've got sort of that. I talked last week about, sort of my checklist, and one of those things, one of the first 2 things I look at is how much stock is out on the company, so I can get a feel for the valuation. And, Amex is a tight, I think fully diluted, they've got about 70 million shares, and they've funded themselves to the tune of about $50 million plus dollars. So they've done a very good job to make discovery, keep advancing it, and keep the share structure down. GLD is another one that has one of those nice, tight, small share structures, 16 million, fully dilute, or 16, let's say 17 million, it's just shy of 17 million. And they've got some really good ground there. They're involved with a guy named Perry English, who's been in Red Lake forever. In fact, he's the guy who vended the projects that Great Bear has now made them famous for. And this GLD also is in the same boat. Now you gotta pay up for these guys. They're trading at about 70 cents or so. But having said that, the stock chart looks really strong. It's see the 52-week range is 24 cents on the low, which they just hit in March. Since then, it broke the downtrend and started moving up in April, mid-April, and now it's trading at 72 cents. But the strength of that chart tells me that, you know, the market is optimistic that they can find something, and if they do find something that gets the market excited, you know, 50 to 100 million valuation would be reasonable on this one. So there's lots of blue sky potential. They are drilling, so let's keep our fingers crossed that they find something and stock blasts off.
Okay, moving on here. Japan Gold finds himself in a deal with Barrick. Not a bad name to have. Commences a large regional program. Run through the details and why you like this one.
These guys, you know, one of the greatest epithermal vein systems in the world is in Japan. It's now the name's gonna Hishikari, and these guys are looking. There's a couple companies over there. Japan Gold is one of them. That's they're trying to find another one or two or three. Who knows how many are over there? There really hasn't been any exploration in Japan for 50, 60 years. But Japan Gold and another one, Irving, I think it is, IRV, are starting to get involved there in a big way. And as you said, Barrick is there, has become a strategic joint venture partner in the last couple months. In January, February, end of February, they did a deal with Barrick, and Barrick's going to fund their exploration costs on a few 6 of those projects that they have over there. So I like that. It obviously tells you that they've got some strength to their story of looking for the next Hishikari. And so they got a good partner. The stock has been flatlining for the last few months, but I think it has had somewhat of an upward bias in that sideways action. And it looks like it's ready for a breakout. So watch that one closely. They do have a little more stock out, but I think a little over 140 million shares out. But they're not going to have to do a lot of funding going forward. So I think that might be the cap for the next little while on the stock dilution. So yeah, it's getting very interesting for Japan Gold.
Okay, next one up. Melkior discovers a new VMS setting and intersects the Karskelen property. What caught your eye here, Al?
Yeah, they got 9.5 meters of 6.4 grams, which also had man, I hate ways some of these companies, they always want to spread out the results instead of just focusing on, like what I'm saying is, they got it over 9.5 meters, right? But in reality, half of a meter was 67.9 grams per ton gold, with 79.8 grams of silver, 0.62 of copper, and 0.27 of zinc. That's the headline, not the smearing it to 9.5 meters. It just drives me nuts why these geologists do this. You know, it's like they want to, like they think people aren't fooled by smearing grades anymore. And when you get a great thing like a half a meter, 67.9, now you got to go out and see if that, you know, if you can find a meter, 2-3 meters of that kind of stuff and have some continuity to it. And you'll be off to the races. And I think they're in the right country. They're in the Timmins area. It's a BMS kind of environment. That's why they're getting the gold. But it's a gold, silver rich VMS, which is very exciting. That's the kind of thing that could catch a lot of people's attention, especially when they only have 19 million shares issued. What's it trading at? Let me get the range here. So yeah, I like what I see in the project. I like what I see. Let me see the stock chart here. So yeah, it has had kind of a pretty good spike. Back in the beginning of May, it was trading around 30 cents. It traded all the way up to $1.20. That was a one-day spike kind of thing. The range that day was $1.25 to 75 cents. So, take that for what it's worth. But I would say the real top was about 90 cents on average. And so, it's a little cheaper than that. I think, as you're waiting for more results, you might be able to get it a little cheaper even. But yeah, this thing was, for the most part of the 9, 10, 11 months of the last year, they were a flatliner averaging about 22.5 cents. So, people have made a lot of money on that. I think you'll see some selling pressure as they await their next batch of results. But tight stock, cheap shares, tight share structure looks good to me on the project end of things. I'm a bit of a cheapskate, so I'd like to buy it a little cheaper, but watch it closely because, these tight stocks can show a lot of strength very rapidly like they have, but no, I don't like paying up for too much. I think you might be able to get MKR a little bit cheaper, maybe closer to $0.50 kind of action. So just watch it closely. Look for signs that they might have some results soon.
Okay, last one up on the list, Vizsla Resources returns to site to restart exploration and drilling at the Panuco Silver Project in Mexico. I know they've caught your eye before, Al. Looks like they're getting back to work.
Yeah, Vizsla just announced that they're lifting the restrictions on mining in Mexico, and so they're getting back to cranking up the drills on their project. Another one with not too much stock out, 58 million shares. They've got a bunch of cash in the bank too. They're a very well followed company. A lot of the newsletter writers were hyping it up. And what they were hyping it up on was the district scale potential of the project. But as can often happen when everybody's pumping it up in January, well, they went from about 15 cents on the low about a year ago. Then by January, they were trading at 95 cents on big volume. That was a lot of the newsletter writers were jumping on board. After the 95-cent high in February, March, it was correcting down back all the way to 25 cents. Since then, though, it's come from 25 cents up to 55-ish, 50, 60 cents. Today, it's trading just under 50 cents. Really strong chart since March, consistent higher highs, higher lows. I like those kind of charts. It's got a lot of room to move to get up to the past high. And now that they're drilling, they'll have lots of catalysts. And, they get some good results, which I expect these guys to be able to do. They're in a great area of Mexico, and it's had a lot of past work, so they've got a good handle on things. And, I think Vizsla's got some more blue sky ahead of it now that they're drilling with catalysts.
Okay, good to know. Vizsla getting back to work in Mexico. Why don't you take a chance here, Al, to plug your opportunity here and tell everyone where you're at. Looks like the restrictions are being lifted in Mexico, huh?
Yeah, I'm working on getting the drilling going again here real quickly. And what I really hope people start to look at is a couple news releases ago we did an update on our work, and I'm getting ready to do another one pretty soon. But the key thing I wanted people to look at is there's a map in there of our geophysical anomaly, and the geophysical anomaly is about 3,200 meters from south to north. In the southern end, it comes closest to surface, which is why we drilled there. Now, that's not the optimum place to be looking for grade, because you're way out at the end of a 3,200 meter system. At the north end of the system is a hinge in the geophysical anomaly. Then at the hinge, it drops straight down, and it keeps going until it gets off of the detection levels of the geophysical survey we use. It goes down 400, 500, 600 meters is about the depth that you can see with the IP. That gives you some, level of confidence. And at that hinge zone and where it drops down, I believe that is the plumbing system for the the overall 3,200 meter anomaly that we've seen. So when you're way out on the edge, you're looking at sort of the farthest farthest from the guts of the system, if you will. But why we drilled there is it's where it comes closest to the surface. So we drilled 2 holes into that, and we found we hit thin lenses, stacked lenses of disseminated sulfides. Now, the thing with sulfides is they come from deep down. They come from where it's really hot. So they have to have a source of where that comes from, the upper mantle and what's pumping it up there. When you're able to get sulfides pumping from the sort of source all the way out to the edge of the system, that is a very good indicator of the power of that plumbing system. And secondly, the fact that we were able to get very promising grades, almost ore grade out at the edge of the system. We got some 5% zinc in there, some good numbers in gold, silver, copper. It's not the kind of numbers that really get the market jived up, but it confirms that you have a 3,200 meter system here, sulfide system. So now the point is to go after where the plumbing system is that brought those disseminated sulfides out to the edge of the system. And I think it's going to be a very powerful system. That's what's indicated by the hinge and then the deep vertical drop off of the anomaly. I think we're getting close to tagging, or that will be where we focus our next drilling. And I'm very excited about that. I think that that's the breakthrough opportunity for Advanced Gold to really catch the market's imagination about this large, massive sulfide system that we have. And I think that's where we'll start catching thick intersections of massive sulfides. That's what the geophysics tell us. That's what the drilling tells us. That's what the models tell us. So now we're getting ready to start poking some holes into that juicy part of the system, and I'm very optimistic about what we'll catch when we get out there. All that combined, I think, definitely when you consider that we are also one of the tight share structure companies. I mean, fully diluted, we're at about 55 million. Fully diluted, my chairman and I own probably north of 30% of the stock. So, I built my company on the checklist that I keep talking about on all these shows. And that checklist is keep the stock tight, get good projects, drill often, try to understand your system. And if you get into the guts of the system, I think that, that potential alone, I think suggests that our valuation of a few $1 million Canadian is about as cheap as you're going to see on somebody that has a potential like we have, looking for a big sulfide system with high grades of copper, zinc, lead, gold, and silver.
Okay, we'll certainly keep an eye on your story there, Al. Before I let you go here, let's talk about the dollar a bit. It's been strong, certainly. Gold's ran with it. I can't imagine that's going to keep up forever. How do you see the strength of the dollar?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a, people buying it because it's kind of like the currency of last resort, but I was doing some work on it recently, just looking at the chart real closely, and it looks to me, a lot of juniors, they get propped up, and since it topped out in March at 104 as the fear of it just spiked vertical from 95 to 104. And then it came off of that high and it settled back down to, let's say, a sideways action with an average price of 99-ish. I'm talking about the index, the USD index it's a basket of currencies against the US dollar. Now, since then, it's, as I said, came back to this sideways action since April, May, and now well into June at about, like I said, average of 99 cents. I think that this is getting propped up, now, I don't mean some grand conspiracy. I think it's like, people are looking at it as the safe haven currency. I think the safe haven currency is gold and silver myself. And I think that what's going to happen is this is ready to break down and maybe test that 90 cent, 95 to 90 range. That's going to help pop up the price of gold in a big way. And I don't think a lot of people are seeing that as the potential to happen. But I can see some US dollar weakness that's going to be really good for gold, silver, and copper, and oil, and other commodities that are priced in the US dollar. And I just don't think that this phony, benefiting from the last resort currency is going to last for too much longer. The market's telling me that. The fundamentals tell me that. I mean, look at what's his name was just on TV. Powell of the Fed was on 60 Minutes this weekend talking about how he can just keep printing money as much as they need. Well, there's going to be a ramification to that. The ramification will be weakness in the U.S. dollar and strength in the gold and silver. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about what I'm seeing in the U.S. dollar for the price of gold, and I think that with the new life coming back into the gold sector and the gold explorers, we're heading for a good. I wouldn't be selling in May and going away for this summer. I think we're going to have lots of fireworks in the gold space this summer, and the best place to find best action at the cheapest price is in the juniors, the good ones we follow. So yeah, take a look at several of our past weekly shows, and I think you'll find yourself a really good list of for your shopping list of gold stocks that can make you money for the rest of this year.
Okay, that's it for this week's show. If you're a fan of the information, please subscribe to the channel and share the broadcast. If you haven't, please look up the StockPulse.com platform, where we're tracking the pulse of the financial equities markets, providing investors with tools, filters, features, and analysis to navigate these markets and assist in their investment decision. Back next week with more equity news and commentary. Hopefully keep you ahead of these volatile markets.